What's up, everybody? Happy 4th of July weekend. Hope everybody is having a fantastic weekend. Hoping everybody saw some good fireworks last night. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed, their time and played safe as well. Tony Cotillo here, Heat Ratio Sports. And if you haven't noticed, you'll see some messages going out. And before I even get into why Paul George makes sense, I've been hearing a lot of people, been having a lot of conversations. It's been a while since I've really been live, right? I have a lot of things going on. We all have a lot of things going on. I'm doing fantastic work over at Win Daily Sports, doing some fantastic sports betting and fantasy coverage. As always, Rise and React Media, my own PR company, doing some fantastic partnerships with people like St. Rocco's Treats and maybe Colonial Nissan. A lot of different things coming up through the pike. But the whole thing that's been missing is the sports coverage, that the just natural sports coverage. And I love talking with everybody. I love having the interaction. I love having the engagement, and I've been missing it. So I've been thinking for a while now, and I'm like, seeing everything that's going on, not just locally, but nationally. And I understand, listen, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a former athlete. I'm not going to come in here with thousands and thousands of followers, right? We're not going to come in here with a million downloads or anything like that. But what we're going to do is I am in the midst of assembling a team that I'm going all in. I'm finally going to go all in. And the reason why I'm going all in is because I am tired of the North. I'm tired of the North. I'm tired of whether in cities like our great town of Philadelphia or other cities around the world. But when I do Sirius satellite radio on the weekends, the Win Daily Show on Sirius Channel XM 87, I have a lot of fun with it. And I get a lot of different interactions from a lot of people all over. And the first thing they say is, man, I wish we could actually listen to some kind of sports talk that isn't fabricated, sports talk that isn't hot takes, sports talk that isn't so ridiculous that we know it can't be real. And that's me. I like real. I want to go back. I want to talk about the history of baseball. I want to talk about the history of basketball. I love when we do the Blue Coats beat for the Delaware Blue Coats with me and Coach Joe. We actually talk about real information, real storylines. Last year, we saw the rise of Ricky Council. We got to see it live at the Chase Fieldhouse and actually talk about it. It was great. And that's what's missing. But here is the secret ingredient. The secret ingredient is a team. And this is no disrespect to anybody I ran with in the past, because everybody has their own ideologies, everybody has their own agendas, and everybody has their own lifestyle. I get it. But in order to do this, listen, I hear people say fun, and yes, it is fun. But if you put a lot of work into something and a lot of time, you also want it to be a business venture as well. So it has to be twofold. Has to be fun, but there does have to be a business sense about it, because you can't bump with the big dogs if you don't have a business sense about you. So my point to everyone else is I'm going in on this with the notion that we are going to build something special, that we are going to have people join the team that actually are going to contribute for the right reasons, not to bring a bunch of BS and a bunch of incredulous takes and a bunch of false narratives and a bunch of fabricated debates. We're going to bring the heat, we're going to bring it fun, and we're going to bring it business-like, which means it's going to be consistent, it's going to be credible, and it's going to be all consumed by you, the people. And all we're going to need from you is to subscribe to the channel. That's it. The support of subscribing to the channel and listening. You don't need an app. You don't need any of that. You just hit play, and that's what we're going to do. So again, if you see the notion about looking for contributors, that's real. Get in contact. I've already had a bunch of people. I got meetings lined up for next week talking about how they can contribute and how we can make something special, not just in the city of Philadelphia, but just worldwide, man. Worldwide. Let's do something worldwide that adds everybody into the fray. Now, again, let's get right into the topic at hand. Heat Ratio Sports, as always, make sure you're following at Heat Ratio Sports. Make sure you're following at Win Daily Sports. And again, if you're looking for the best bets coverage on the net. Get over to Win Daily and start winning today. Use this link for today's promo. And that is my own personal link. So we are big partners with Win Daily. I do work for Win Daily. Okay. And again, I do not promote things that I do not believe in. And I believe in the metrics and the system of Win Daily Sports. So if you're a sports bettor, if you're a DFS player, if you're a fantasy football advocate, I tell you right now, you cannot miss out on these promos at Win Daily Sports. We just had somebody for $14.99 hit for $1,000 in NASCAR. It happens all the time, but you have to be willing to invest your time and invest a little bit of your money, and you will get it back tenfold. I promise you right there. Go to that link and get set up today. Now, why Paul George makes sense. And to all my Sixers peeps out there right now, if you're checking in on Twitter, if you're checking in, or X, whatever the hell it's called now, okay, if you're checking in on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, I want to hear from you. And I waited a little while to talk about the Paul George signing because I wanted to see how long it would take our local media to make it out, or even national media to make it out to be a problem. How long would it take them to make it a problem? How long would it take them to make it negative? Right? And here is the simple analogy of Paul George. The simple analogy of Paul George is Paul George versus Tobias Harris. It's very simple. It's very easy. That's it. That's only if you're a Sixers fan, if you're an NBA fan, the only thing you have to do, and Stephen A. Smith said it great. He talked about it on his podcast. He talked about the same thing I've been saying for months and years with Tobias Harris. Where is the aggression? Where is the finish? Right? Where is the finish? Where's the finish at the rim? We didn't see it. We never saw it. And that was the problem. Okay? That was the problem. My man Trevor checking in. Okay, says, let me guess, 10 minutes. It's exactly. He knows. Right? He knows how this city operates. He knows how the national media operates. The first thing they want to do is they want to throw egg on it all the time. You know why? Because it bumps up the meter for their metrics. It's very simple. If we talk about it in a demeaning manner and a hateful way, people will respond. And people will respond, and then we can send that fake bullshit click to the sponsors and the marketers, and we can get a big deal. That's how this shit works, people. It's simple. But let me tell you how it really works. And let me tell you how Paul George really makes sense. All you need to do is all those games that you lost last year, whether it be by 6, whether it be by 4, whether it be by 8, whether it be by 2, and Tobias Harris did not even show up in the stat sheet. All you need to do is insert Paul George, who had his best of his career last year when we come to shooting, all above 40%, 40, I think 43% from the field, 41.5% from three-point land, 22 points per game. The guy 100%. 100%. What we're going to do is watch the insert of PG-13. Now, my man Greeny Green checks in. He says, PG is often hurt in 34. Yo, how many good years is PG going to give us? Here's what I'm going to say. I'm glad you asked this question because I know a lot of people were talking about it, and I completely understand. Listen, the other side of this argument is, what has Paul George done in the playoffs? Why does he call himself Playoff P? What has Paul George been able to do? What has he won? Listen, Windhorse was on today, and all he talked about was for 4 years, we were constantly talking about Paul George, whether it be the Clippers, whether it be OKC, doesn't matter. And again, nothing ever happens. What does he want? Greeny, let me tell you something. This is what I'm looking at. I don't care if he's often hurt. I don't care if he's 34. You want to know why? Because I have a guy that's under 30 that's often hurt. I have a guy, okay, that unfortunately hasn't won anything. And I have a guy who has 2 years left at prime time play, and that is Joel Embiid. So this whole narrative about 4-2-12, the big contract, all the money, don't care. We don't care. Listen, We shouldn't even care about that. We shouldn't even care about what playoff P has done in the past. Okay, self-named playoff P. Okay, but PG-13 has always been a guy that can hit from the wing. My man Javon checking in right here. He knows a 3-level scorer on the wing has scored 20 plus per game for the last 9 years. Look at that. 20 plus points per game for the last 9 years. Can Tobias Harris say that? Now, I get it. I understand all the skeptics. And like my man Greeny, I get it. Listen, I 100% understand this. I do. And that's why I want to do these type of lives, because I think when you turn the dial on and you turn right away, they're hitting you with some kind of hot take. Right? They're hitting with a hot take that right now, Paul, you're going to get all these stats about why Paul George will never win, right? But they're not breaking down the actual fit of the team. They're not actually looking past the fact that we have a superstar of our own that unfortunately can't stay healthy, right? Don't forget he played for the Pacers, obviously, right, Trev? That's where he started. I love those old Pacer teams, man. I like the older Pacer teams. I have my own Jermaine O'Neal number 7 Indiana nice white and blue pinstripe jersey myself, because I love Jermaine O'Neal back in the day, man. I love those Pacers jerseys. So yeah, I know all about my man Paul George. And I know on this team with this fit, he makes the most sense. And listen, it doesn't matter. See, here's what I hate about the national media. The national media is going to continue to hammer home that the Sixers didn't have a choice. They're going to continue to hammer home that Paul George, which is true, couldn't get this kind of money anywhere else. I understand. They're going to hammer home that Draymond Green came out and said playoff P want to play for Golden State. Okay. What the hell's wrong with that? Like, I would want to play for Golden State, meaning I would want to be on the West Coast. I would want to be out there in Cali. I would want to play with Steph. Why not? Right? Why not? Okay, so it didn't work out. That's the realest of it. It didn't work out. So what did he do? He came to Philadelphia. In his mind, listen, yeah, money was right. It's what he wanted. It's what he earned. This is a business, people. Like, all you people that talk about money, would you turn the money down? Like, honestly, would you turn it down? Would you say, nah, I don't think I'm worth that? Now, I understand the market in this company dictates that annual value, but you know what? I don't care. I don't want it. You wouldn't do it. This isn't about money. All right? This isn't about age. This is about win now. This is about win now. Again, you're just tuning right in at Heat Ratio Sports. We got some big things cooking, man. Make sure you follow us all platforms right now. We're just getting started. I got a bunch of different things coming up. Sometimes you got to go through some waters and you got to find your way. You got to realize, what do you really want to do? And I know what I want to do. I want to put everything in perspective here. And we're going to go all in on this thing as big as I can make it, man. As big as I can make it, and only with the support of everybody else, because we want to give you what you want. Listen, the city of Philadelphia, as well as the outside cities of the world, deserve sports coverage that isn't shit, that isn't garbage, okay? We deserve sports talk and sports coverage that, yes, it's always going to be opinionated, but the problem is how you get to that opinion. That's the difference, right? Opinion isn't just something you throw up against the wall. Back it up. Give me your ideas for that opinion. Don't just say right now, like, you see it all day long, right? We don't have to rehash. We know. And that's why I want to do this. So make sure you keep it locked right here. Again, if you like U Sports, give me a follow. My own special podcast I started, powered by my company, Rise and React Media, Fighting for Overtime, where I talk to college coaches, college athletes, youth coaches, youth parents, myself, former kids that I coached, about the stressors of youth sports, about how the demand is really causing burnout amongst our young. So check that out as well. And as always, WinDailySports.com. If, again, you're looking for the best bets coverage right there on the net, get over to Win Daily, start winning today. Use this link for today's promo. You see it right there in the comments. Get over there. You'll get the best promo for today. My man Javon says, imagine he gets to be the third option some nights, playing with an MVP center who saw his assists go up and a young guard that is ascending. And I'm glad you said the word young, because let's also see why Paul George makes sense. If you have two guys that have an annual, I shouldn't say an overall number of over $200 million, you have to fill out a roster. Now, when you fill out a roster, you're going to get some veterans that are going to sign for that minimum. I get it. But what are you also going to have? Young players. Guys like maybe a Jeff Doughton. Guys like a Ricky Council. Guys like Jarrett McCain, who you just drafted. Guys like a Justin Edwards that you just drafted. It's a two-way contract, right? Or signed, I should say. He went undrafted, so you signed him as a two-way contract. So playoff PG-13, 34-year-old Paul George, who's been around the block, who, whether he gets hurt or not, just still at 34, put up the best statistical year of his career, okay? What can he offer? He can offer knowledge. He can offer an ear. He can offer a mentor. That's what he also brings. Something that Joel Embiid can't give him, right? You listen, playoff P can give more than Joel Embiid because he's been around longer. He's played with more diverse players. See, that's always the problem. You can't have Joel as your mentor, right? And if you think about this, I'm going to say this, and I think we all know it. The best year for us to win, the best opportunity we had in Philadelphia was with Jimmy Butler. We all know that. Jimmy Butler was a closer. Jimmy Butler was the consummate professional. Jimmy Butler was that veteran, that guy to lead by example. And what happened that year? We grew that year, all except the one guy who will rename unnameless. And again, there's another reason why I wanted to do this. Are we even going? We're not talking about that guy. We're not talking about that guy. Okay. The other stations are going to talk about that guy. Why? Because they want you to feed in. They want you to feed in because they all know you hate them and they want you to feed him. We're not mentioning them. All I'm saying is when Jimmy Buckets was here, he elevated the play of a lot of our younger players. But he wasn't here long enough to continue on his course. Playoff P, Paul George is going to be that guy. Tobias Harris wasn't that guy. Joel can't be that guy. It has to be another veteran, but a veteran who's been around, a veteran, that's been around the game for a very long time. Javon says, and PG-13 went through his wars in Indiana when they saw LeBron in the Heat. That's a great point. Think about that. He saw that big three. He knows what it's like. He knows the cohesion that needs to take place. He knows what it's like playing with a big man. Think about that. He understands that, right? He understands. And he also understands how to make sure that these young players are grounded, how these young players understand what it takes. Oh, and not to mention, how about the one thing that we never talk about, but the defensive factor of the ball as well. A guy going out there and guard your Jason Tatums and your Jaylen Browns, one of your biggest competitions in the East. Right? A Drew Holiday, right? We're talking about that. Guess who has that playoff caliber defensive ability? That's right, PG-13. So again, this signing makes so much sense for so many different reasons. More than the reasons that people are talking about, more than the reasons that they want you to think. It makes sense because the Sixers, just like Heat Ratio Sports as of today, is going all in. They have to go all in. They only have a little bit of time left, for Joel Embiid to be able to win this whole damn thing. Okay? So playoff P ain't going to see 38 here in Philadelphia. If we don't win by the time he's 36, guess what? It's going to be a failed experiment. It's very simple. Okay, this has to be a 1 to 2 year project. And the Sixers know it. That's why they signed Andre Drummond to a 2-year deal, because they know this is a 2-year project, which means they have 2 opportunities to win. And I'm going to say this again, man. It is Very, very hard. Look at Denver. Very, very hard to win back to back. I understand Boston set up for success, and I understand that they have two of the best and most dynamic playmakers in all of basketball. But what I also understand is that it's very hard to go back to back, to exert yourself in these long playoff series and win the entire thing, and then come back the next year and win again. It's extremely difficult. And you're also going to have a Milwaukee team that, again, with a healthy Giannis, an Orlando team that's up and coming. See, here's why you need a 2-year project, because in 2 years, Orlando is going to be that team to beat. I fully believe that. I love the Orlando Magic. I love the youngsters on that team. I love what they're building out there. I love it. I love it. KCP signing, fantastic. I love it. Give Mo Wagner that money. I don't care, right? I don't care they gave Wagner that money. I think he deserves it. I know he's making more than Maxey. Doesn't matter for that team where Paolo, man, I'm telling you, that team is so damn exciting. I've been on the Magic for 2 years. For 2 years, I've been on the Magic. I said, watch this team, man. Watch this team. They are up and coming. So why Paul George makes sense. Very simple. When I do these lives, I want to stick to 20 to 25 minutes. Okay. I am always going to be readily available. Throw those comments up. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. It's so important. That YouTube page is going to be the central point of all the information. Trust me when I say this. I got a lot of good things brewing. Already have multiple people on board. We are going to bring a product that you guys can be proud of. We're going to bring a product that you guys are going to love. The Tony Cotillo show is coming. I promise you that. I really want to do a daily, every single day show, Monday to Friday, 5 days a week. Listen, it's not to battle anybody. It's because I want to give everybody an alternative. And I have to see for myself. I have to see if this is going to work. I want to see if everybody out there, okay, I want to see if everybody out there that is talking through their ass, okay, I'm going to pull their punk card. Are you talking through your ass, okay, or you really want an alternative? Are you talking through your ass, or you really want to change up? So listen, I am battling to you, okay? I'm throwing this to you now because I'm going to build it. I'm going to build it, okay? But are you going to listen? That's the key. I know my boys are going to be there, right? I know my boys are going to be there. Listen, change up, bro. My man Rich, listen, my man Rich has been with me from day one. He's one of my day one boys. Javon's my day one boys. My man Food's checking in. He's doing his own stuff. He's doing some things. And again, I want to say this, and I want to say it just so I can make it abundantly clear, because I am a guy that likes transparency more than anything. I tried this before, and this is no knock on anybody, but I tried it before, and at that time, it didn't work for a lot of reasons. Number one guy was a jerk off. He had to go his own way. He's still out there parading around, whatever. I could care less. Good for you. Go get yours, right? Whatever. The other guys that we had, great dudes, man. They just didn't have the time. They just didn't have the time. And me at that time, I was juggling multiple jobs and I didn't have the time. Now I have the time. Now I have the backing. Now I have the investment group. Now I have it all. But when my man Mikey Goose comes on and the Tony and Mike show comes here once a week, it's going to be some primetime entertainment. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real too. It's going to be real and it's going to be fun. Okay. When the Tony Cotillo show comes, it's going to be live and great, all the time, booking guests, some great sponsors already lined up. My man from St. Rocco's, who knows, Colonial Nissan. Listen, I am telling you right now, do not sleep on Heat Ratio Sports. Okay. And I want to work with everybody. I want to say that again. I want to work with everybody. I want to collaborate. I want everybody to win. Everybody that's in this space, okay, that wants a digital voice and wants to make this a business and fun, I want everybody to partake, because I think together we can make a stand. I think together we can give everybody an alternative, and we can give a listenable product that people will want to listen to and that people will want to support. Okay? We listen, I am all in and I am all open to ideas. All open to ideas, whether it be long form shows, whether it be short form segments, whether it be TikTok content, you name it. We're going to go all in. We're going to go all in. I already have people that are ready. So again, that's why Paul George makes sense. I'm Tony Cotillo. Jigsaw's coming back. Heat Ratio Sports, Win Daily Sports. Okay. Fighting for overtime. As always, everybody, man, listen, have a fantastic night. I will be back. I'm telling you, you never know when I'm going to pop up. You never know when I'm going to pop up because I'm ready. I'm pumped and I'm ready to bring the heat.